What in the 20s is going
in the
on?
20s,
Think about
yeah.
the 20s.
What
Baby,
plenty, plenty.
What in the 20s is
I
going
am
on?
here for my
20s, baby. This is the 20s.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Zama Mkhize, and this is What's in the 20s, a podcast where you listen to me grow through it, baby. On today's episode, we're going to be speaking about coming out of the shadows. And it's really interesting bringing it up, really, because as you can see, like, this is my first time filming a podcast. And Okay, I guess for backstory, let's take it back, right? I've always been really shy, even when I was small, just super nervous, super just like, just stay in the background. That was kind of like my comfort zone where I felt safe, let everybody else take the spotlight, let everybody else do the thing. And I feel like it was so weird because I was always in groups of friendships where we were super extroverted, super loud, always participating in anything and everything. But yeah, like I always had this thing of like, no, Zama, like just stay within these limits and these boundaries. And it started progressing further and further. I remember in high school I had even like social anxiety, which was always so it was so crazy because I was constantly being put in the spotlight. I was constantly being put in front of the crowd, but like I felt like I was pretending most of the time, like, just pretending with my confidence, pretending like I had something to say, like I knew what I was saying, like I knew what I was doing. I've always been told I speak really, really fast, so that was always making me just so nervous to speak because I knew like people would be like, what? Like say that again, like slow down, Summer, take your time, take it easy. And it would be things like that would make me like just really insecure about being in the spotlight. Also like being seen failing, being seen doing something wrong, being seen not having it all together would like freak me out so much that it was always just easier for me to just kind of remain in the confines of like what I felt like was safe. And so even with the fact that like, yes, I studied theatre and performance, I did drama and all of that kind of stuff, I was always so comfortable being the writer and director and never the actor. Like it was always so... It was enough for me to be behind the scenes and create a body of work instead of being the one that was in front because it would stress me out too much, being perceived and people just knowing that Zama, like she's doing her thing. And so that's why even starting the podcast was so convenient for me because it was just me in my bedroom kind of sharing my thoughts and stuff like that. I didn't even put me on the cover art or anything like that because I was like, I did not want to be seen. I wanted my work to speak for itself. I don't know, even if you look at like my old poems on Instagram, like from years ago, it was never me speaking, it was never me speaking into the camera. It was like I would edit out different clips and stuff like that and put poetry over it because I just wanted to be the artist, but not like the actual I just wanted the arts to do the thing, And it was so weird because then when I started recording my poems with my voice and my face and all of that and everyone could see me, that's when the reach went even further and more people were impacted and touched and all of that. And I thought that was so interesting to me that like people wanted me. And I still was like, okay, fine, let me just have this podcast where I can still hide in the shadows, where I could still just be safe and protected. And I think we do that a lot in our life. Like, I think we like to feel like we're better off within our own limitations. And I remember people would always ask, like, why aren't you on the cover? Like, why aren't you, why isn't your face showing and all of that? Like, why aren't you doing more with, why don't you have a YouTube channel? Why, all of that. And I was just like, that's crazy to me. Like, why would I, like, that's so wild. Like, why would you want that for me, what is it that other people are seeing that I'm not? And why do I keep doubting myself? And that's another thing you need to work through is like constantly dealing with that self-doubt that goes on in your head, because it's a mental war that I think we battle all the time, is like realizing that you've earned the right to be in certain spaces. You've earned the right to be having the dreams that you do have. And I think that that's something that I struggle with and I battle with a lot. And what I'm learning more and more is that it's really hard to remain in the shadows when you're walking in your purpose. It's really difficult for you to keep hiding behind people, to keep hiding behind what you feel is enough for you. Because that's the thing, we get so attached to our little blessings. We get so attached to like our small little thing that we have here, and we're like, yeah, this is great, this is enough for me. And I used to always think that like everything that was bigger was for somebody else, was reserved and available for other people who could handle it, other people who were built for it and born to do this. I don't know why I didn't think that that was something that was available to me. And I think that's what we do all the time. Like we go, oh yes, we can see that this is something that we want for ourselves. We can see that this is something that if we really set our minds to it, we could do, we could achieve. Sometimes you'd look at somebody doing something and in your mind, you're like, I could do it better. I could do it different. But you don't set out to do it because it almost feels like, how dare you be so ambitious? How dare you dream that big? How dare you want something bigger than what your reality is showing you that you can have? And it's so sad. Like, I think sometimes we even wrestle with God and we start fighting like, oh God, like, why won't you let this happen for me or that happen for me? Meantime, there's something bigger that's meant to happen for you. And I think, I don't know, I keep thinking in my mind, recording in my bedroom, I never thought that the day would come where I would have a microphone. This is my first time recording, like, in the studio and a microphone and all of that kind of stuff with lights and everything. And it's so bizarre because it was just inconceivable to me. And it reminds me that sometimes when you're on your journey and on your purpose and stuff, you don't even know how big it can be. You don't even know how great the plans are. You don't even know that, like, God has set up something even bigger than what you had initially began. And you're so attached to the small little thing and you're fighting for it and you're upset about so many other things. Meanwhile, there's something so much better. And I think about that, we haven't lived all our best days yet. We haven't seen just how big our dreams can grow, just the reach that it can have and the impact. And I think another thing is, this has all taught me the importance of diligence and obedience and discipline. My mom used to always say to me, like, Zama, you need to be diligent when you do things, because she would like make me do certain chores and I would kind of half-heartedly do it, like if I wasn't in the mood, like just do the dishes, like, rush or whatever. And she would call me back and be like, what, you're washing these dishes again? Because what the hell is this? She's like, you're going to do it again and again. Like, you need to do it graciously and cheerfully, and you need to do it right. Because as my friend always says, how you do anything is how you do everything. And so if I like half-heartedly did the work that I did with the podcast, I don't think I would have ever seen this other side. I don't think I would have ever seen this side where I am sitting in front of a camera and speaking, because all I had was my phone, sure, but I think it was my discipline that allowed me to be consistent and post a podcast an episode at least every week or every time I could, and keep showing up to it, even though I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the space, I don't have all of that. But then you realize, like, all of these things are enhancers, essentially. You are the talent, you are the skill, you are the voice. And I think we need to back ourselves in those ways, like realizing that, all of the stuff is cool, but to get there, you need to realize all that you are already as it is. And I think it's taken me so long to really accept that and embrace that, because I guess I've always kind of sat in that feeling of inadequacy and feeling like, oh, well, I'm not enough. Like, how dare I even be in certain rooms and spaces? Like, why would it be me? I this thing, it's so crazy that we do that we literally think, why is my name being spoken in that space amongst these people? And we feel so undeserving of the certain blessings that come our way, of the certain opportunities that presents itself to us. And yeah, I really hate that I do that, and I think it's always because I feel like there's more that I could be doing. There's more that I should be doing. And it's a really toxic cycle, mental cycle that we do with ourselves that we need to like genuinely practice to let go of, because I wanna really affirm that I'm deserving, that I have put in the effort, I have put in the work. And also, as I'm saying, like when you're walking in your truth and your purpose, it's really hard to shy away. Like you will find that constantly you're being presented with opportunities that keep forcing you to come out of there, that keep bringing you out of that shadow. Because that was also what I didn't understand is like, why am I constantly around people who keep wanting me to show my face, who keep wanting me to speak up more, to say more, to do more? Like I didn't understand that. Like, I was just in my room doing my thing. And that's the thing. Like other people also begin to see the light that is in you when you're walking in your purpose. So much so that they'll even begin to invest in it. They'll invest in your truth. They'll invest in your dream and your vision and your plan. And it's going to be so wild. You're going to be like, what, me? But yeah, it's because when you're exactly where you're supposed to be, things kind of fall into alignment in ways that you didn't even understand, or that you didn't think could happen for you. But that's what happens. I mean, they also say like 50% of it is luck, but I think it's really special that without spending anything, I'm being awarded an opportunity to be able to record here. And that is because somebody sees what I'm doing and believes in that potential, and they want to invest in that. And I think that's so special. I think, you don't even realize that the more that you expand on your dreams, the more that you keep thinking about what it is that you want, other people around you are going to be inspired by that. Other people around you feel more propelled to grow it. It's not your dream alone. And that's another thing that I've been learning is the things that we do, it's not for us to inherit alone. It is shared. We are all attached and connected in some way. And I think it's so special that we all get to join in the experience of being inspired by somebody growing something, And I think in other ways, I hope that I can do that for others too. Like, how can I pour into you? How can I be of service to you? Because I think when we like energetically share in that, we're just growing something that's even bigger than us. And I'm really excited. I'm really nervous. I am so scared. I'm so scared that you're seeing me. I'm so nervous at the fact that you are watching more of my imperfections. It feels intimate. It feels so intimate that you get to see my reactions to things, my face, and the way I roll my eyes a lot and all the rest. Like, it feels like you're really looking into me. But I think it's so special that we get to do that. I feel like this is a cool way for you to connect with me even more, for us to really, dive deep. And I think if I've learned anything, we really need to move in the direction of our fears, pull towards it even closer. Especially, I think this is something that I've learned with my mom passing a few months ago. I was so afraid of tapping into the grief because I was like, oh my goodness, like this pain is too much. And I was so afraid of how that pain would manifest in my life. And so I wouldn't tap into it. I wouldn't want to feel it. I would just keep pushing it aside and keep trying to distract myself because I was like, this is too much. And lately, I've just been kind of embracing the pain and the suffering and all of that. And now that I've done that, I don't fear it anymore. I don't fear when I cry, at a random place, at a random time, whatever. It doesn't control me anymore. It doesn't, even though it hurts and it hurts a lot, I don't think I'm crippled by this idea that this pain is meant to like harm me. I don't think so. And I think that's how I feel even doing this now. Like it took me a really long time to be okay with agreeing to record and have my face up and all of that. But I think that fear doesn't consume me anymore because I've now kind of accepted it, I guess. I'm embracing that if this is where God wants me, then I'll go. Like if this is where I'm planted, then I'll grow. If this is the direction that my dreams are growing, if this is where I am supposed to be, then by all means, like I need to trust that provisions will be made to sustain me, that it will be enough. Like they will be enough to cater to me and to help me get through it and to grow even bigger. This might be even like a stop to something even more. And yeah, I hope that me sharing this story does something for you, to tell you like, you know, maybe it's time for you to get out of that shadow, time for you to stop holding yourself back and thinking, oh, I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be doing this, like why me, I'm not good enough for this. And you know, I think that when you're walking in your truth, you're going to be so surprised at just how much the world shifts to accommodate what you want, how much opportunities begin to just align in your direction. And it's not easy. This has been a lot of years. And okay, well, I started 2 years ago, but a lot of episodes to get here. And yeah, don't underestimate how much volume or consumption needs to go into building something. Don't think like, oh, I put out like 5 episodes, why am I not there? Oh, I went to the gym like for 2 months straight, why am I not seeing progress? Oh, you know, like do not underestimate how much it will require you to grow and to do and to build and to all of that for you to see the promised land, for you to see some sort of shift and breakthrough. Don't give up too soon. There were many times I wanted to give up because I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm literally sitting with my phone recording week after week. Like what is my plan here? And yeah, it's so beautiful that it has, at least for now, landed me here. And there's a lot of gratitude I have for that. So yeah, when you're ready and when you feel like it's time, I hope you step out of the shadows. I hope you come into the light. I hope you walk in your truth. I hope you choose that dream. Yeah, life is really, really exciting when you do. As always, I'm sending my love. Goodbye.
What in the 20s is going
In the
on?
20s,
Think about
yeah.
the 20s.
The 20s,
What
baby.
in the 20s?
Plenty.
What in the 20s is
I
going
am
on?
here for my
20s, baby. This is the 20s.